So moving on into the deployments, this is where our paths probably came the close to crossing in terms of just both significance of loss and shared loss was with the Extortion 17 mission that is unquestionably the biggest blow to naval special warfare in the history of it. And I know I'll let you kind of tell the story because I know your personal situation was woven into that story pretty significantly. Right. But for me, I'll just, when I heard about it, I had just come back. I was on my way back from doing some training with the West Coast K-9 program. I was driving back to Texas, and one of my former business partners called and told me about it. And I just, fucking heart sunk, and I went to the memorial out on the East Coast and ran into a bunch of guys. I knew a number of those guys, but I was not on Gold Squadron the way you were. So if you can walk us through that, I'd love to hear it.
So before that deployment, when Extortion happened, I went through a divorce, and somehow I got custody of 3 children.
Yeah.
So here I am, an operator. I can barely take care of myself. Yeah. I can operate overseas. And I get custody of an 8-month-old boy, a 4-year-old daughter, and a 9-year-old daughter.
That says a lot about maybe your former significant other. If a judge is you need those kids. It says quite a bit.
It says quite a bit. So I was trying to do the 50-50 so I could just do I wasn't, even going to say, hey, I'll stop deploying. I'll just do a training thing. But I got full custody, and I was in shock. And this was 2 weeks before deployment. This is the deployment before Extortion. This is when Adam Brown passed away.
Yeah.
So I didn't go on that deployment because I was raising these children or trying to learn how to hashtag how to be a dad because I had no freaking clue.
This makes me think of a movie,
Pacifier,
where Rock, The Rock would play you in a movie and be like Mr. Mom 2.0.
I'll play The Rock. How's that? No.
I can see Disney making some shit like that. It sounds like a fucking movie.
Yeah, I've actually been thought about writing a book on that whole piece, because that is a battle in itself. Just taking care of those children, that was crazy. You got the deployments and the killing, and you're losing your buddies, and now hey, 3 kids, take care of one's 8-month in diapers. Yeah. What the hell's a diaper?
Yeah,
it's Christ. So that was the worst time of my life, and it was the best time of my life because I learned how to be a dad, and I got to be with those children that are the number one thing in my life. So that's definitely a blessing. So I did that. I remember the guy that I told you was kind of my mentor at Team 2, and then he later became the Command Master Chief. I was actually in Dick's Sporting Goods, and I was pushing my cart, and I had my son in the little carrier in the cart, and then my 2 little ones, and he just looks at me and he just shakes his head, and I go, and I was like, yeah, F my life. This is literally happening right now. But anyways, did that. And then what worked out was that my ex-wife would get the children during the summer.
Yeah.
So it worked out that the deployment Extortion was actually 1 week after the kids were gone.
Yeah.
So I went back. I was like, hey, I'd love to jump on this deployment, jump back in my team. I'll just be a shooter, carry whatever you want me to do. I'll, carry heavy things. I don't care. I just want to deploy, one more time. That I kind of look back at that, was I being selfish with that? Considering I had 3 kids and I'm putting myself back in harm's way. But I'm also, there's also there's another side to that. It's your boys. Yeah, how it is, man. You get off that train, you see your boys punching out and still taking the fight to the enemy. You miss that. It's like oxygen. It's like blood.
You feel a sense of responsibility.
Yeah, totally. And then I got a call at that deployment I told you I missed where Adam Brown passed. I got a call at, I think it was 2 a.m. from my team leader. He's like, hey, Adam just passed. And we were on the phone, crying, talking, doing shots, talking about Adam for a couple hours. Yeah. So I was like, dude, I got to go on this. And I think it was only a 60-day deployment because that's all I could do with the kids' school schedule. So I went on it, and I was set to come back 3 days late, 3 days before Extortion happened. I was supposed to come back 5 days after Extortion. So something around there. I was supposed to come back the same time when the guys, when their bodies came back. So Extortion happened, and I remember watching, we call it Kill TV. You got like all the TVs watching the operations, and there was 2 helos, and one of them went down, and we're like trying to get radio comms, like, hey, because we knew all our guys were on one of the helos, and one of them just had the air crew. Obviously, we don't want anyone to get killed, but obviously it was the our guys. And I remember watching that, and then they just kind of zoomed in on the crash site, and you can just see like 4 or 5 bodies, like just kind of on the backside. They were on the tail of the helo, just kind of spilled out. And I don't even have words to really put to that feeling, because my best friend was on there, Jason Workman. I met him at Team 2, Matt Mills. Robberies. I could just go on, Lou Langlis. There's just so many awesome guys on there. But like Workman, that was my best friend. Like he was my best buddy, and it sucked. It was like shit, and just the families, and just how many families were affected by this. These great warriors. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe there's still hope. Maybe there's still some alive. And we tried to go get the bodies. And our CEO's like, you're not going. Like, what do you mean we're not fucking going? We're fucking going. Like, are you kidding me? That's our guys. And I understand his thought process now is like, he didn't want us to see our guys charred and, whatever. I've heard the stories after from some Ranger buddies that went and actually, took care of that cleanup of that mess. It was probably good that we didn't get to see that, because as you know, those images are just ingrained in your mind. But I was set to come back because I had to be back for the kids like a few weeks later or something like that. And then Jason's Workman's family, Stacy, his widow, asked me to bring his body back. Of course, I'll just come back early. So I came back with Jason. And I remember, you see those pictures of like a dog kind of sitting next to the casket. They just lost their owner. That was kind of like me with Jason. I was like, we're on the C-17 flying back, and you just got these metal caskets. I can't remember how many caskets were in there, because there was extra body parts, and there was 4 or 5 of us that came back with the bodies. And talk about a freaking experience, man. Just like being with your buddies are in there. You kind of want to see him, but you don't want to see him. I just remember laying next to his casket, because I knew which one was his. I made sure I found out, and I was with his body for, I think it was like 2.5 weeks, because we had to fly into Dover. I had a time to go down to my house, kind of get my blues, all that stuff, because I was going to take the what they call the angel flights to Utah to his family. And my girlfriend at the time flew in, saw her for like a day, flew back up to Dover, stayed up there, and then we took the angel flight and had to drop off another dead body in like Missouri or something from an Army guy. Like, it's just a weird experience. Like, we're just dropping off these dead bodies. We get to Utah, and while this is happening, there's all these memorial service, because I think that there were so many of our guys, like we're just, they had, the command got, buses to go hit all these memorial services. And I really couldn't do them because I was with Jason. I had to stay with his body, which was, was an honor. It was an honor to be with him, because he came in after me. He kind of like, the student kind of became the teacher. He was just so talented at everything he did, and so good looking. God, like the best flowing hair. It was just amazing. So I was with him and his family, and a lot of drinking, a lot of suppressing feelings, a lot of just like, I don't want to be sober right now. I don't want to feel. So obviously alcohol was huge, and alcohol kicked in big time for me when I got the custody of the kids. Like at night when they'd be in bed, I'd be like, all right, wine time. I didn't want to do hard liquor because I know how I can get on that stuff. So I'm like, I'll fight you. So it was just like, all right, I'll drink some wine. But it was just weird, just being with his body. And then, we have a service for them. And it was cool. You ever heard of Robert Earl Keen?
Yeah.
He sings a lot of awesome. Yeah. He's got a lot of really good songs. But they reached out to him because it was Jason, one of Jason's favorite singers. He came up to the funeral, didn't even hesitate.
Oh, sure.
Played a song. And then, took off. It was awesome. Like, it was a really great service. And then took his body back to Arlington, where they had the big service where they put everyone in the grave. And then that's when I was done. Yeah. And I was with his body for enough to where they would open the caskets, and I saw exactly kind of what happened. He was wrapped, but you could tell like he wasn't the same, because he was a tall guy. I think he was like 6'2", 6'3", and he wasn't that, So
Do you know from a tactical standpoint what exactly happened? Because I mean, I've heard a lot of different variations of it.
We all have. I've heard, the conspiracies and this and that, and were they using the right birds? No, but we did it again. The whole lone survivor thing, right? We did it with not having ISR. We wanted to go get the bad guys. They got hit with an RPG. The helicopter went down, and it's called war, and it's not fair, and it sucks, and that's what happened.
Yeah,
that is what I firmly believe in my heart.
Yeah.
Do I know all the external pieces that people are claiming or saying? No, and I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I know that there was good men on that helicopter, because whatever stuff we want to try to bring up or stuff that it's not going to change anything. You're not going to bring them back. You're not going to change anything. It doesn't matter. So just respect those men, carry on their the legend that they were, and move on. Like, if you just dwell on and try to blame somebody, the fact of the matter is those men are no longer here, and you can't change that.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
I mean, we could. I guess that kind of goes to the mindset. We can kind of sit there and tread water and just how do I get to land? Or we can start swimming to land.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, that's kind of like what you need to do.
Instead of treading water and thinking about how fucked you are.
Right.
Just fucking start
Or
swimming.
just or find a solution. Yeah. I mean, the bottom, you're not bringing them back.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's hard. And I know a lot of the families, they grieve and had to, and it's way harder for them than it was for me, obviously, because they weren't my family, but they kind of were too. I mean, I did years and years and years training, drinking, having great times with these guys, getting deep with these guys, knowing their families. So, brothers not by blood, but I mean, it is hard. It sucks.
Yeah.
It does suck.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking that away from any family, but it's war.
Yeah.
And war's not fair.
Is there an element from a survivor's guilt standpoint of fuck you, I should, because let's say that the custody thing had never taken place.
That's
Would you have been on that?
It's kind of funny you say that. When I chose to come back I volunteered again to come back to do that deployment. As I was talking to Jason, he's like, dude, come with us. He's like, it'll be fun. Like, just hang out with us.
Get the band back together.
But we weren't in the same platoon. I was like, no, I got to go back with my same team. I gotta run with them. And I wanted so bad to go hang out with them.
Yeah.
But there was that moment where hey, I could push, and I probably would have got it to go. I want to go with these guys.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I did not do that. I went back because I was led to go back with my my original team. But yeah,
it's like flip of a coin, though.
It sucks, man. There's not a day that goes by I don't think of those guys, think of the memories that we have, the stupid crap we did. I mean, they're just amazing. They're just amazing. Every one of them, they had their own little thing.
Yeah.
I can still remember Rob Reeves coming in with a calculator watch and a members only jacket. I'm like, you are the coolest dude I've ever met. Like, who wears a calculator watch? Yeah. He's like, I wear a calculator watch. I was like, yes, you do. So, I mean, there's just so many great stories of all these guys. That's a 1,000 podcasts just to cover, the accolades and the great things these guys did. But, I mean, they're in a better place, I believe, and I love them to death, and they made a great impact on my life that I can carry on to my children. So,
I did an Iraq deployment with Matt Mills. It was his first deployment, and the Mangler.
He is oh my God, he is so intense.
Yeah, I mean,
we used to spar back when I was doing my fighting. Yeah. He was always my sparring partner because we were about the same size. And that guy sweat so much. He would throw a punch, and you go to in sweat would come off and it would land in your eye, and you're blind, and I can't even see. You're killing me with your sweat, and you freaking suck. I'm like, dude, I'd be like, stop, go wipe your face off, get that sweat off your face.
Fucking grasshopper spitting at you.
Totally, dude.
Yeah. Chris Campbell was my first roommate. We went through Buds together, and
Chris is a great guy.
And and there was a number of other Team 3 guys that I didn't know quite as well, but knew them and had worked with them briefly or whatever. But for me, it was tough, and to even try to put myself in your guys' shoes of being from that squadron and working with those guys, and it just. It's a tough thing to even think about.
It's a tough for the whole community. We all, we're all tied some way. Guys worked with them here, whatever, and there's all those memories that are built, and then you lose them. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real. Yeah. I mean, it's very.
Yeah. One of the things I've noticed in doing this interview with you is I find it remarkable how how fucking composed you are in talking about it, because a lot of guys aren't, even with our background. You know, I've had plenty of guys get fucking choked up on here and whatever, and I'm curious, is there an element of what we were kind of talking about earlier in terms of the deadening or the diminishing of emotional bandwidth that takes place? Because I firmly believe that it's like with anything, you know, and we use a lot in dog training and desensitizing dogs to things that freak them out slowly. You do it calculated so that now it doesn't bother them anymore. But I think with our type of experiences, yours, you know, tenfold over mine, but that, you know, you experience something that's that traumatic, that's that heartbreaking, that's that emotionally devastating over and over and over, and it gets to the point where it stops kind of registering. And I'm curious, is that, do you feel like that's an element of where you're at?
I spent, it's a great question. And some of your listeners might be like, oh, you're full of crap. And a lot of your listeners can be like, oh, cool. So that is a real thing. I was dead to emotion for a long time by pills, by alcohol, by women, just you name it, anything to not think about it. I don't want to feel. And then I found faith in Christ, and my eyes were opened. I cried a lot. I still cry a lot. But it just kind of opened me up and kind of like, hey, like you're not just here. And I have a very strong faith. Do I mess up all the time? Oh my God, daily, like 5 times daily. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm cussing. I'm like, oh, I should be cussing at you. You know better than that. But it's like, but you're human.
Yeah. Did you grow up with that?
No, I didn't. No, my girlfriend at the time, I was drinking a lot and being stupid, and it's called True North Ministries. It was out in Oklahoma, and it was a 3-day boot camp, no cell phone, no nothing. And I never prayed. It was it's a program that was called Wild at Heart, originally started by John Eldridge out of Colorado. And I was like, I remember I got there, I was like, oh, cool, I'll just have a couple beers, you know, it's fine. And then, there's no alcohol. I'm like, what do you mean there's no alcohol? This is a gathering of men. It's all men. There's no alcohol. Like, it's just very weird for me. I'd never done any Christian-based anything. And so I'm listening to this stuff, and I just and there's like these segments. There's like 3 or 4 segments a day, like hour long, and then you go pray. I've never prayed before. And then I just see guys, like they're talking about like a father wound. I'm like, I don't have any father wounds. I'm fine. And I just see dudes in like the audience like start crying. They're just getting taken out in a good way. And they're just coming to realization, and they're like, okay, this is it. And then like once you realize and you admit it, and then you can kind of move on from it. So I finally got hit like day 3. I got hit like I got hit so hard of just this peace, this feeling, and I'm not saying I'm a perfect Christian, because there's no such thing. I sin daily, and I try to get better myself all the time. But that has helped me reading the Bible, doing devotionals in the night, praying at night, and I remember after that, when I left that little Christian boot camp, it was like a 3-hour drive back to Tulsa, where I was living at the time. And I cried the whole way. I cried the whole freaking way. I tried to call my girlfriend. I would be able to get like 10 words, start crying, like I gotta call you back. And I would just start crying. It's just like this peace, this feeling I've never felt before, like my body was being warmed. And I was like, okay, God, like since we're like trying this prayer thing, like, okay, if you're real, like I'm like literally testing him. If you're real, like show me you're real, like show me you're real. And I remember I was driving by this car wash, and I was like, am I saved? Because I'm like, man, I've killed a lot of people. I've killed a lot of people. I've sinned. I've cheated. When I was younger, I stole like a Baby Seal magazine. Felt bad for that. I mean, just like I've done so many things. Surely I can't be saved. And I was driving by this car wash, and you know, they have those like their signs, like the red letters. It just kind of flashes by. I don't know what those signs are called, but it literally, I prayed. I'm like, if you're real, like tell me I'm saved. Like tell me I'm saved. I look up in this car wash and it says saved.
Oh shit!
It doesn't say save $15. It said saved with a D. Yeah. And I was like, and I just started crying again. I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like I just and since then, so many things. But that's why I'm composed, because I accept it for what it is. Like I know you can't bring it back. Yeah. And I believe that heaven is a better place than what we're dealing with here. And I do believe in good and evil. So that's why I would probably go to that my faith is the one. But I trust me, I've been through the torment. I've grieved a lot. I still have my moments.
Yeah.
When we do that dive trip for Louis, I know that when I'm there with Dom and Jamie and Louis' family, it's going to come up again, and I accept that, and that's okay. It's okay to have those feelings.
Yeah.
I used to think you can't have feelings because we're all these alpha males. We can't have feelings. You can't have feelings. That's bullshit. You're just what's gonna happen is you're gonna explode, and I've done that plenty of times, and I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.